Hey guys, I wanted to show you how easy it is to make the sweet potato hash browns. So what I've done is I've peeled, washed, and cut my sweet potatoes in half. And then you have a couple of options on how you can grate them. You can use a hand grater, which I've used, excuse me, like that. And when I'm doing one potato at a time, it's actually not too bad. It only takes a couple minutes maybe. Or if you have a mandolin, one of these guys here, and that also has a grating setting on it. That would go even just a little bit quicker. What I have is my food processor actually has a grater on it, and that's what I'm going to use to do this. So that's why I've cut them in half so that they'll fit through the feeder here and a little bit safer on the fingers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to feed these through the processor and get them all grated up, and then I'll go on to the next step and show you what's coming up. Alright, just one. So while I was grating up those sweet potatoes, I have a pan heating up on about medium-high heat with some olive oil in the bottom. I put probably a good 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the bottom. We got to get that nice and hot before these are even ready so that they can go right in and cook up really brown on both sides. I just finished grating up the sweet potatoes and put them in a microwave-safe bowl. And it's going to go in the microwave for 4 minutes to cook and soften up the sweet potato. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll be right back. Okay, so my sweet potatoes are all done. They're cooked up in the microwave really good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to scoop them into a strainer and use a spoon and press out all the extra liquid. If you make these the night before, you can actually put a piece of paper towel in the strainer and place over the top and have your sweet potatoes in there to strain through overnight. And by morning, you're ready to add your ingredients and cook. But in order to get this done today for you, we'll do it this way and get the extra liquid out, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I've strained out as much of the liquid as I can, and I've put it back into my bowl. Okay, to the bowl, you're going to add 2 egg whites. This is going to kind of help bind everything together, hopefully to alleviate it falling apart too much while you're trying to cook. Letting these actually cool overnight actually helps them not to fall apart so easily when you're cooking them. If they're still warm when you're putting them together, they do tend to fall apart a little bit more. So in general, I do prep this the night before and cook them in the morning, but it can still work this way. But if they're a little crumbly, that's why. To that, I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of salt. And I actually get salt sense from Diamond Crystal, I think it is. And it's lower in sodium, so I feel a little bit better about using about the same amount as I would before. I love salt. I don't buy prepackaged stuff, so I find that adding my own salt isn't a bad thing. You need sodium in your diet, but I control it a little better that way. So I also do a half a teaspoon of onion powder. Now, this part here is to your taste and your liking. I've tried it with garlic powder. It's also good. You can add pretty much anything in there that you want. If you want to try different combinations of spices at this point, that's when you would do that. But this has worked pretty well for me. I love this combination and the taste. So to that, I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of parsley. And then just like a pinch of a pinch of pepper. And if you enjoy pepper, you may want a little more than that. I'm not a huge pepper fan, but I do enjoy what it does add to foods in small amounts. So from there, I'm going to mix this up really, really, really good. And like I said, we have that pan already heating up. It's nice and warm with the olive oil heated up in there. So as I mix this up, I'm going to get it blended really, really, really well. And then, in order to make sure that my patties are all an even size, after I've mixed this up and made a total mess out of my kitchen, I pat it down in the bottom of my bowl, nice and flat. And then I'm going to create a cross with my spoon. And maybe you've seen Rachel Ray do this with hamburger patties, and it works the same way. This way, you know that all of your hash brown patties are going to be about the same size. Let's see if you can see that. And here's another trick. I take a piece of paper towel. You're falling, sorry. But I take a piece of paper towel and I fold it in half, or if you have the section ones, then you would go and get 2 of them. My kids are in the background. So I get your hands right in there, and if this is warm, be prepared, it's going to be warm. And you get a little bit of a patty, and put it right in your paper towel, fold it over, and as you do that, you'll see all the extra liquid is coming out of your patty. Again, this will help it to stay together a little better. And I can actually use this piece of paper towel for 2, but this is going to go right into my warm, you can hear that sizzle, that's really hot. Okay, now I'm going to get my other one, and I'm going to keep doing that. Again, I can take this piece of paper and fold it over. Okay, and I'm going to do that for each patty, so I have 4 cooking in my pan. Here's the pan going. You want to get nice and brown on each side. You got to keep an eye out. Everybody's oven is different, and everybody's stovetop is different. Get nice and brown on both sides, and then I just put it in a nice plastic storage container, maybe some parchment paper in between each one, so they're easy to take out for single servings. And I reheat them under the high broiler for 2 minutes on each side. So that's where the parchment paper is great. You put it right in there, let it heat for 2 minutes. Take it out, use a spatula and flip it, put it in for another 2 minutes, and it's ready to go for your breakfast that morning. So I hope that helps, guys, and I hope you give it a shot. They're delicious, and with a little bit of organic ketchup on the top in the morning, wonderful morning treat. Thanks, guys.